My guest today is Emmy Award-winning talk show host, New York Times best-selling author, and host of the Tamron Hall show, Tamron Hall. Hello.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. I'm good. I'm so happy to see you.
I am so happy to see you. I haven't seen you. It's been 2 weeks, but it feels like 2 years. The last time we were sitting at the bar looking like Looking for Mr. Goodbar? Remember that movie? You don't know. I'm older than you.
Okay, no, I don't know. I was going to pretend for a second.
I felt like we were Brown Girl Sex in the City version.
It was giving that.
It was giving Sex in the City. We were at Raff's?
We were at Raff's, yes.
Yeah,
and
bar.
It's such a cute little intimate spot. I ended up having dinner there 2 days later.
Did you?
Yes, and it was as good as I remember.
That's like the hottest ticket in town.
It is.
But
you know what? I love to eat out. That's my main problem.
Really? Yeah. Do you cook at all? Look at me now. Okay, I've turned this into the Tamron Hall show.
I'm over here like, oh my goodness, I'm getting to interview Tamron Hall.
I'm so nervous.
We're switching roles today.
Oh, I'm super nervous.
Don't be nervous. Why are you nervous?
For well, my son Moses is here because today they're out of school.
Yes.
And my child care situation crumbled like my relaxer, my hair right now.
Your hair looks great.
And because it's a monsoon outside.
It is crazy outside.
And then I said, I'm going to put on some jeans and this cool jacket. And I love vintage shopping. And I have these jeans that I bought. They're from 1970. It's 1970 Levi's. I buy a lot from the 70s. That was the year I was born. And I don't know, like 3-4 weeks ago, they fit. Right. And today, it's like the Beyonce song, if you don't jump to put your jeans on, then you don't feel my pain.
Right.
So I'm slightly leaned back.
I see how you're doing a little something to just let the... And listen, if you decide to unbutton that top button,
I may not make the decision. The button may decide. And then your poor team over here, somebody might lose an eye. So I hope you have insurance because it's going down.
Okay, listen, I think they have insurance. If they don't, just run.
Just run through the door. I'm grabbing my baby and we're out of here.
Change your name, change the name of the show, everything. And run. The other day, getting in the car on my way to a dinner, my button popped on my blazer, but it was a blazer that's just like, it's one button and it's giving snatch. But I was in Paris for like 2 weeks and I had just come back the day before. Kind of living a fabulous life.
I love how I was, my button popped, and I wasn't in, Queens when it happened. I was in Paris. So if your button's gonna pop off anywhere, I would prefer to be in Paris.
But the thing is, it popped in New York. It did pop in New York. I had just come back from Paris where I was indulging. I was eating anything I could put my eyes on, any and everything.
What was your favorite thing?
Okay, hold on. My favorite thing that I ate in Paris. Dan noodles from this chef, Keith, beautiful. Who was doing a residency at this restaurant. He lives in Toronto, but they host rotating chefs.
Really?
And I was hesitant to do the Dan noodles because I like them, but I don't always like them. And he insisted, and I was like, okay. And he was like, we can give you a half portion. We do half portions. And I was like, yeah, let's do the half portion because I'm not sure I'm going to love it.
And then you had regret.
I was so mad as hell.
I have experienced that where I just went to Kabawa, which is on the Lower East Side of New York, and the chef is really celebrated right now. It's a part of the Momofuku chain, but it's like their first thing. And he's done a Caribbean influence menu there. And goat is one of my favorite things to eat.
Mine too.
Really?
I love
I had
goat.
no idea. It's one of my favorite things. And he has a curry goat with this amazing roti. It's all elevated. He had one of the most successful restaurants in Sydney, Australia, the chef Paul Carmichael. And now he's here in New York. And he had this goat, and it was like this little bit. And I wanted to oh my God, get us some more on there. I'll take a little bit more. There's nothing worse. And you're like, I don't think I'm going to like it. And then suddenly you're
then you're like, I love it and I need it.
No, I have food dreams.
Right.
Do you get that? Like,
oh yeah.
I'll leave and I will dream about the meal that I had. And it's just like insatiable, and I need it again. Oh yeah, I've had that. That's the worst.
Okay, so I'm always looking at menus. I'm always planning my next meal. On the way here today, I was like, so when I'm up in the area of the studio, what will I eat? Because I'm like, a new area. I don't usually hang out up here.
Really?
I was like on Google, like, what's up there to eat?
That's interesting you say that. My cousin, Erica, she's like my sister. She happens to be an only child. We're cousins, but we're very much like sisters. And she will look at the menu before we go to the restaurant, and she'll decide before we go in the restaurant what she's going to eat. That's wild to me.
I want every meal I have to be amazing. And so I am a kind of similar and like cross-referencing reviews to that's what I do in my free time. It's not scrolling social media. Okay. It's looking at food and looking up food.
I find that to be so, for me, I like the mystery. I like the idea of wondering what's on the menu. No, I don't read the Yelp reviews or anything because I always figure they're paid for anyway. I'm suspicious.
Okay, well, I think the Google ones. I think the Google ones are paid for. See? I just want to say that I think Google has been infiltrated by the feds or something. Like I'm like, these are not real reviews. This is your friends and families. Yeah, the ops are on Google, leading you astray.
See, I am suspicious. I am suspicious of reviews in general.
Okay.
I don't even do the Rotten Tomatoes. My husband, he's like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes says it's 55%.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I can't subscribe. I need to feel it.
Yeah.
There was a movie recently. I won't name the movie, but it got, really panned. And I thought, I'm not listening to these people. And then I saw the movie. I'm like, I'm listening to these people.
Sometimes people
I go back and forth with it.
Yeah.
But restaurants, I tend to think, I need to get in there myself, especially, we're in New York City.
Yeah.
This is the town of the spin, right? And so I've always worried about, well, that chef or that restaurant group might be connected.
Yes.
And then they get the great review and I go in and a whole $200 later, I'm leaving hungry, mad, broke, pissed off, all of that.
All of the above. Well, listen, that's why I have a hit list of people that I am going to. That's Moses.
I know. My
son
is
Moses?
over there coughing.
I don't even know if it was. I think Moses. Okay. I feel, I don't want to blame him.
Yeah. Well, he's over there playing Monopoly, digital Monopoly.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
No. Listen, in our home, I don't know what this kid's going to be when he grows up, but he is. You can't beat him at Monopoly. Forget about it. He plays the digital version like now when I'm trying to bribe him to be a behaved child. But we play Monopoly, the board game, in my home. And it's a warrior sport.
Okay.
It is not for the faint of heart. So if you come over, and we would love that.
I would love
just
that.
know, well, I don't know. I don't know if
you're
going to lose
that. There are games that I lose at, which is most all of them.
You're not a gamer.
I'm like, there are games I lose at, all of them, with the exception of anything that's like mafia-esque. Like I can tell who's being deceptive.
What's that? Give me a game.
So, like, do you know the game Mafia, where it's like someone is like deemed the killer, or like it's a group of people. Someone is like labeled a killer. You might get your card. They pass out cards, and you're like
it's a real game
or something. Yeah, it's a real game. Have you ever seen the TV show Traitors?
No.
Okay, it's a little bit like that. There are killers among us. There's a mystery happening. Someone is a murderer, or multiple people are murderers in the group. Okay. And then the rest are, say, villagers or civilians. And it's your job to guess who is the murderer among you. And
it's a board game?
It's not a board game. There's cards. There can be cards, or you could just set it up yourself if you don't have cards.
Your game nights are way too advanced. I'm like Connect 4.
Okay. Well,
Monopoly.
I love Connect 4 too, but I'm going to lose. And so I'm like, I want to know who's being deceptive.
Okay, so you have more. Okay.
Yes, I would be good at that and that alone. Otherwise, I'm losing. I've lost every game show I've ever been on. It's embarrassing. I feel like people bring me on to lose, but I'm a good
that's
loser.
That's why I refuse. See, I was on Family Feud with Stephen A. Smith, and we won handedly. In fact, he got 0 points. And I really learned a lot about being a sore loser watching Stephen A. for over a year be bitter. So
every time he brings
I said, okay, I'm losing that. I used to get upset when I lost. Now I'm like, after seeing him lose and literally disown his family because he was so salty. I said, okay, I've got to be a better sport about these things. But I don't like, they've asked me to go on like, was it Celebrity Jeopardy and all that. I can't go out like that.
I've gone on, I could not on Celebrity Jeopardy get the buzzer to work for the life of me. And I'm not saying mine was broken. I'm not claiming that.
Okay.
But I'm just claiming that whatever, the buzzer was not
the hand-eye coordination, something
with me. Like, because basically if you press too early, it locks you out for a period of time. So by the time, while you're locked out, someone else is going to hit the buzzer. And if you press too late, obviously you just press too late. And so you're like trying to get that exact right time to hit the buzzer. That is a buzzered forward game. And I don't like that I have to rely on technology to win that one. But I would like to go back and rectify things.
I think we should demand a recount, a repeat. You need it. You deserve it all.
And honestly, let's just do something traditional, like put our hands up or just call out the answer first.
And why do you have to answer it in a question?
And that shit was confusing because I don't watch regularly. No offense. We love Jeopardy around here, but I don't watch regularly. Yeah. So I would when I would get the buzzer first, I'd be like, okay, so I have to put in a question for him. And then the timer's running out.
Yeah, see, no. I need like Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Oh no, I don't need Wheel of Fortune. Have you seen some
I
of the
also was bad at that. I was really bad at that.
You?
I had on a little strapless dress.
Is there a best of? I gotta go on the best of your moments on game shows.
Don't look, because the best of is the worst of, and it's me embarrassing myself and my family.
The Wheel of Fortune thing gets me too, because people are like screaming out the answer from home, and then you go viral because there was like one letter missing, and for whatever reason your brain couldn't. So what did you miss? In the moment,
I mean, I missed everything. So first of all, everything. Okay, I'm there to like elevate people. I'm at these. They invite me, and it's like she's gonna be a good loser, but I'm sick of it. Right. I want to win. So when I did Is It Cake? Do you know that one?
Yes.
Okay, when I did Is It Cake?
You didn't guess the cake?
No, I did. I was savage. Apparently, though, that's not the place to be savage. That's the place to be supportive. And I was like, I can tell that's not cake. I don't care.
So people who they crafted these and they thought, oh God, I'm gonna trick Ego.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, that little frosting game.
I was like, it's off. That's not. And then I was like, but I need people to know that I went in there with baggage. Yeah. So I was on a like losing streak on game shows.
Somewhere there's a baker who gave up their dreams because of you.
I was like, that's just fake.
There's some person who's like, well, I'm gonna go to work at the bank. I'll be the banker on Monopoly because my baking dreams just went up in smoke.
I know. I had to like rein it in. I think I was on with Taron Killam, who watches with his kids, and he's like, "You don't want to guess." And then I was like, "Well, what's the point?
Right?
If I'm not going to give it my best."
I have a rule. I don't like competition things.
Yeah.
I won't. Years ago, when I was in Chicago, they asked me to judge this little kid pageant, and I said, "Actually, I don't do that." But oh well, it's a great charity. I mean, they kind of put the number on me, and I agreed. And I get there. And these adorable little kids. And I'm like, wait, no, I can't judge kids. Are you kidding me? It was near mutiny. All these like pageant moms were ready to go off on my ass. And I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And after that, I said, I don't have the ability to judge people in that way. So I don't do it. And I can't, because I'm just like, everybody's a winner. Yeah. This is great.
See, that makes you a good mom, I think.
No, because I beat my son on things. No. I'm like, I have the Michael Jordan school of thought. Okay. Once you beat me, you're a winner.
Right.
My husband, he's a little different.
He'll let Moses.
Yeah, listen, come over here. I was like, listen, I am not your father. You gonna come in here with Ego, you're gonna look straight in the eye, you're gonna sit down.
He did that.
Oh yeah, I'm much more.
Your back was to me while I was saying hello to Moses, and where you give the eyes, where you give him the eyes, like you know what to do.
Because he always wants to go to grown-up things with me. So I said, okay, we're gonna go to Ego's podcast. He said, iHeart. What's iHeart? Can I put it in Google Maps? Yes, you can put it in Google Maps. Okay. So then we get to first of all, Lydia, who's a part of our PR team, is wonderful. She got the brunt of his acting out. Okay. Because she opened the door. What was the driver opens the door and he sees it and goes, I don't know her. And runs past like Lydia was like the bakers when you rejected their dreams. And she was like, I'm cute. What's wrong with this damn kid? But then he apologized and warmed up, and then he got on the elevator. Okay. So yeah, so he's all good right now. But he likes to go to adult things with me. And that, it's so interesting. I didn't have Moses until I was 48 years old. And I just celebrated my 55th birthday, and he's 6 now.
Happy belated.
Thank you, my darling. And so it's so fascinating because I'm always in the throes of this challenge of wanting him to see what I do, because I tell people at my old job before, I was like, I would have been the only non-mom on that ensemble cast that I was on. And I remember actually a woman saying to me, that I wasn't relatable. She didn't say because of the motherhood, but I know what she was alluding to. And so I'm very sensitive to talking about motherhood, and because I've been a non-mom for far longer, than actually being a mom. And now that I have him, I want him to see this part of my life and understand that, whether you work in or out of the home or whatever your journey is your journey. For me, the journey is working outside of the home and him being a part of it. And he's the inspiration for my children's book. And he's also on our show a lot. And I want him to understand people are going to come over and say hi to you. They're going to be curious because you're a part of my life.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I feel guilty because we just had like Joni Turner Smith on, and she doesn't show her kid's picture. She'll say her name.
Okay.
She'll show a picture. And meanwhile, I'm like, my kid's all over Instagram. I'm like, I'm a terrible mom. I'm like, Jesus, bringing them to Eggo's podcast.
I always wonder how parents make that decision. I totally get the decision to not share your children's identity. In my mind, I'd like to think I would be that kind of parent who wouldn't share my children's identity in my mind. But like my nieces, their pictures are all over my Instagram. I'm like, they're just too precious.
Because it's a normal sensation to want to share the things that make us happy, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it's a food restaurant or, I mean, not to equate a child with a meal, but it is. But they kind of are the same. Ways, they can be cute.
There might have been a meal that preceded it. Right. Okay.
But it's even though we live our lives in the public eye as we do, I think it's only natural to want to share the things because you're still human, right? Mm-hmm. You're still ego. When you go home and I go home, we're still who we are.
Yeah.
And even in this format of conversation, you're exactly as you were the day I met you, and I hope I'm the exact same.
You are, 100%.
And so it's like you're naturally inclined to share the things you love, and social media makes you want to share the things you love. And so with my son, originally I had a plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to share him for the first year, right? Because kind of babies look like babies.
Right. You're not going to be able to like find my baby.
And I said, once he becomes a more distinct looking person, I won't share.
Yeah.
And he's clearly very distinct looking. But I just kept sharing. And then he's a part of the show. And when I go out to the show so we shoot 3 days a week, 2 shows a day, 170 shows a season. Wow. So our season starts in September, goes through May. And, 99% of the people, whether they are moms or not, they ask, how's Moses?
Yeah.
And so it's always a it's thing. But I've had, a couple of times where I've had to wrangle people in.
Right.
But for the most part, I think people understand he's still a kid.
Right.
And he's here with me. But when he goes to the airport, they're like, there's Moses. He's like walking through like John Travolta. Yeah. Oh, look, he just looked up. He's walking through the airport like,
I love it. So like he likes it. He likes being recognized.
I think he told me that today. He goes, I'm kind of shy. And people with blonde hair. I don't like saying hi to people with blonde hair. And I was like,
they're freaking
what?
out. Thank God.
So he just made it up.
Yeah.
And he goes, like on Spidey. And so he related it to some villain on Spidey. I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And I said, well, so-and-so has blonde hair. And he goes, well, I actually don't like her anymore. I was like, well, okay.
Because she's blonde.
Because they go to this site. So we have a rule. I said, listen, you have to at least look them in the eye and say hello. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Because I do want to have a child who has autonomy and choice, right? And also balancing stranger danger, right? Because you might know him, but he doesn't know you, right? Not you,
right. Because now I know him. That's my dog.
And so what I try, that's your boy. But what I try to do is make sure that he is able to. We live in New York City, right? I grew up in a teeny tiny Luling, Texas, population 1,000, and half of those were my relatives.
Yeah.
I want him to be able to navigate in this world with confidence. And part of that is when someone says hello to you, being able to look someone in the eye, hello, how are you? Stand in your space. And so I say to him, that's your space. You say hello, and then you can keep it moving. You're not obligated to then let them interview you about your school or anything else.
Right.
But you look someone in the eye and you say hello.
That's a beautiful way to do it, I feel like, because it's you're striking that balance of having the autonomy, having a boundary, but also these are manners.
These are manners, right? And it's true. And I want him to understand boundaries. It's something that, here I am in my life. I think the biggest learning curve in the last probably 4 years of my life really has surrounded boundaries and really not only setting boundaries for myself, but even I have about 150 employees. And I used to be, I would email you all night long and be like, they'll see it in the morning. Meanwhile, secretly hoping you saw it that night.
At it now,
and I really had to establish boundaries in starting this show because I was excited and I had so much at stake and I needed this show to work. But that didn't mean that it had to come at the expense of others. If my name's on the door, if I want to stay up 24 hours a day, I'm going to stay up 24 hours a day.
Right.
And learning that I cannot signal that expectation of others. Right. And even though I wasn't verbally saying it, you can do things that make people feel like, well, if I don't give that much time, she doesn't think that I'm doing a good job. So I've been very mindful of with my team saying, I've did 2 shows, then go to the event the night we saw each other and then came back and write script. That's me. I'm not expecting that of you. And in return, like if you're behind, you can't just be calling me in the middle of dinner with my kid either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like establishing those respectful boundaries that still allow for a productive workspace.
Right.
And also just personal boundaries. I mean, my mom, I had a friend years ago who told me, like, you know, as time goes on, your relationship with your parents, you'll have to set boundaries. And I'm like, not my mama, not mine.
She doesn't do boundaries?
Oh, what? My mother's, we have cameras in my son's room. My mother is linked to the camera, to which she presses her button from her home in Texas. And she's like, what y'all doing? I'm like, my husband's in his boxers. I'm like, he's like, your mom is like hiding himself. He's like, your mama's over here talking to us.
Come
or she'll
on,
call me later
mom.
and she'll say, so I was looking in on the camera. What were y'all talking about?
Mom.
I'm like, Mom, boundaries.
Now, if you tried to tell her, like, hey, we need to establish a boundary, how would she respond to that, honestly?
I wouldn't be in this chair. No, I'm kidding. No. I will say, I'll say, Mom, really? Like, you know.
Okay.
I'll say, Mom. I'll just kind of like gently go like, come on, Mom.
Yeah,
really?
It. Now, you said you wanted Moses to have a sense of identity and autonomy. You want him to have a sense of identity and autonomy. Yeah. Do you feel like you had that as a kid?
Oh, absolutely. So even though my mom was definitely what they call the F around and find out kind of parent, she was not a gentle parent. My mother had me when she was 19 years old, and she was a single mom before she married my stepfather, who I refer to as the dad God meant for me to have. And what I mean by that, he, you know, it's not my biological father, but he was meant, God wanted me to have somebody to shepherd me and help my mother. And that is the person that was brought into our lives. I grew up very much, I was allowed to run, jump, kickbox. I mean, like I did it all. I was, and I wasn't necessarily quote unquote a tomboy, because I don't even know what that means. I was more just adventurous. I mean, I was Nancy Drew one day, and then I was Wonder Woman the next day, and then I was like the invisible character hiding under, you know, I was allowed to have a huge imagination. I think that's helped me obviously later creatively. I got in a lot of trouble in school.
Ooh, okay.
A lot of trouble. I went to a Catholic school. I was suspended. Gosh, I was probably suspended maybe 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. What's the worst thing you did to get suspended? Honestly.
Moses,
cover your ears.
Oh, I'm going to tell. Honestly, so my family did not have the. My parents and family did not put up with bullying. And so my parents and family would say, if someone hits you, take them out. Like, just go in. And so
don't start nothing, but if something starts, you need to finish
it. And that's 100%. So I would not necessarily tell my son that today, but I grew up in an environment where I was the only child in the home because my step siblings were a little older and my brother came later. And so I was a target. I was a target because, you know, my mom had me in, you know, track and clarinet. And I was like this little show kid, right? In some ways. And when you're an only child, you're primed for others to come at you. And I had an issue with some kids once, and I ran all the way home, just out of breath. I mean, they were chasing me. It was like like Goonies gone bad.
You were really a track star.
Oh yeah, that's probably how I could run, because I was like,
I'm sprinting.
And I got home, and I've heard other people have a similar situation in their lives. I've heard other people talk about it. My mom basically opened the door and she's like, what is going on? And I'm like, get out of the way. They're going to kill us all. They're going to kill us all. And my mom's like, who? And I'm like, the bully. And my mother said, you're going to go out there and you're going to either fight me or fight them.
Okay.
Because we can't have this. You got to stand up for yourself. And after that, I had a low tolerance for bullies. Okay. So much so that I became like the neighborhood Avenger. Like when everybody was like, there was this kid, go figure, I'm from the South. Yeah. There's this kid, his name was Booker T. And he was a bully.
And not Washington.
No, he was not going to be any world leader. He might be leading a prison riot right now. But he was
Booker T. Sometimes your namesake could end up very different than you.
And it did. And he did. And he was a pain in the butt. Okay. And he was picking on everybody. And he was taking these bikes. He was just a jerk in our neighborhood. And by then I'd gotten the reputation for like standing up to the evils of the world. And my dad always drilled in my head. He's like, of all of my children, you're the kid for right. And that's something that I grew up with that tone always, that my grandfather, my aunts, my mother, and my father always felt that I was a reasonable person. Even as a child, I had this, I guess, well, let's look at both sides of the situation. My mom is surprised I'm not an attorney.
I was going to say, were you meant to be a lawyer?
My mother says it all the time.
Okay.
But, they all came to me like, Booker T is just torture. And there we start marching like I'm little black Norma Ray, and I handled him.
You handled Booker T, a boy.
A boy.
Ooh.
Funny you say that.
Okay.
My father, I came home like Punky Brewster. My hair's all out now and ponytails unraveled. And I came home and my dad was like, what happened here? Because my dad was in the military and he's like, what the? He sees all these kids and I'm like Rocky coming back home after I like handed Booker T his whole ass. And my dad said, what happened? And I said, Booker T's been picking on everyone and we're fed up with him. We're tired of it. And so I went and I beat him up. And my father said, you're 12 now. You're going to have to stop. At some point, boys are bigger and they're stronger.
Yeah.
And you're not. And then I said to my dad, well, my Uncle OC, his brother, I go, well, Uncle OC was right there watching. My dad's like, oh my God.
And you snitched on Uncle OC.
I snitched on OC, God rest his soul. But yeah, so I grew up and so later in life, I'm in high school and I was well liked, I think so. I was in drama class. I had a great, my friends they used to basically make fun of the fact that I had this wide range of friends, This is like early 90s. So I had two friends who were gay and, back then it wasn't as supportive. And I had a friend who had experienced homelessness and his name, I won't say his name, but anyway, he was one of the kids in my class because I went to what was referred to as a magnet school.
I went to a magnet school.
Okay,
yes.
So I went to
everyone had to apply.
Everyone
right?
had to apply.
Yeah.
And so these were kids from various backgrounds, but all had tested in.
Okay.
And so some of us, it was like fame school almost. And just had some odd characters. And, and then there's me and, and I'm blended in. And there were some kids who were not in our program who were not so nice. And there was a girl in particular. And I'm like in 10th grade and I had this, I'll never forget, this is crazy, I can remember this. I had a denim dress my mom had just gotten me. And I thought it was so cute. And we're at the lunch table and she came and doused grape juice all over me. And it was like something from the Mean Girls film. It was crazy.
Regina.
I know, right? Douse me, right? Regina. Douse me or like bring it on, bring it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not a movie.
Yeah.
And I gave her the Booker T.
Okay, the Booker T.
And
it's the special.
I got kicked out of school. And I got sent to, even though I was defending myself.
Yeah.
Back then, this was the beginning of zero tolerance because bullying had become, now we talk about it much more openly. This was the beginning of the national conversation of bullying and how pre-social media, but it had taken a stranglehold. And it was, for whatever, my school, it was a lot of it with young women, which is why I'm so mindful of supporting other women now. Because for some reason, just at that particular time, I don't know what was in the social zeitgeist, but there was a lot of mean girl behavior. And then I got sent to this school, like off-campus school thing.
Like an alternative
school.
Oh
my God, my parents were humiliated. I had to go for like 2 months.
Oh boy.
And it was like when they had started cracking down and then later came back and I was fine. But
is any part of you like, you guys told me to defend myself. It's become a part of my
core.
Mom
did not care. My mom's like, what time do I need to pick you up from school to take you to the other school? She didn't care because my mother felt like academically, I was going to be okay. Social, emotional, I was always allowed to talk about my feelings and wonderfully supportive. But my mom is an educator and she has a very low tolerance for bullying. And she grew up on a farm and just, kindness was a very big part of my family, or advocating and rallying for other people.
Yeah.
That was always a thing in my home. As I said, my father, who raised me, was in the military. He has 2 Purple Hearts. He was in the military 28 years. So I just grew up around folks who were the kind of people like 10 toes down,
right,
defend yourself, and whoever you came to the party with, you leave
I know that's
the party with, right? And so
Yeah.
that was always something.
Yeah.
And I think even with my son to this day, those are tomes and core beliefs. Like, I have the same best friend from age 5.
Wow.
All of my crew, pretty much, sans a couple of
Right.
people who had to get kicked out
Snakes?
from here and there.
Snakes in the grass?
Some little snakes in the grass. But for the most part, I'm still with the date I came with.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Tamron, that is amazing.
Oh, I don't know. I think most people are like that.
No.
Oh,
my goodness. I was just listening to someone on a podcast saying that every 7 years as an adult, you basically make new friends. Like, your friend group
there are some new people that, like, listen, when I met you, it was like moth to flame.
Yeah.
And I'm like I'm socially awkward. So I'm like, I got there and it was an event that they didn't let us bring a +1.
No,
and generally, Lydia, I generally decline things where I can't bring a +1. Because I think they discriminate against single people. It's like, you can bring your husband, but I want to bring my friend. You know, so I tend to say no to, because I've been scorned for being single for so long.
Right.
And so now I'm married and I don't want to bring my husband because he's socially awkward. So I'm like, the two of us.
You're like two socially awkward people.
Is a terrible
Everybody's
thing.
staying away from us.
Stay away from us. It's going to ruin my reputation for being cool. And so I accepted that because it was Emma agreed, and it was supposed to be this great, dinner with women who have been advocating and supporting each other. And it turned out to be exactly what it was built to be.
Yes.
I loved it.
But
I walk over to the bar and I saw you. And I truly did feel like I was like, hello.
Hey, and I turn around and I go, me?
I was like, hey girl, hey.
Hi,
love that hair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're like, next thing you know, talking about love and life.
Everything. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So because I saw you and I was at that event, first of all, was incredible.
Magnificent.
I was telling someone after it, I'm like, a lot of times, I don't know if you feel the same way, you get invited to something that it's like,
terrible.
It's for women and it doesn't feel warm and it can feel kind of mean girlish if I'm being honest. But Emma curated such an incredible room. And I mean, I think that room was such a reflection of her because it felt warm, but also the conversation we had that night was like so empowering and so insightful. But how it started is I said, when you said hi to me, I was like, I have to tell Tamron this. So I heard Tamron tell a story on her show.
My jeans are loosening up. I can move now.
I'm telling you, I'm buttoning the button. If you do one, I'll do one. Okay, so the jeans are now forming to you. It's getting warm. They're loosening up. Okay.
The 40-year-old jeans are now finally being broken in.
Warm.
I can now I can cross like that's about as far as I got. Okay.
I know that feeling though when something fits 3 weeks ago and then you have a little too much fun, if you will, and it's like, oh, these fit like a glove, and now they fit like not a glove, like an OJ glove or something. Yeah,
I was going to say that's so funny. We both
me and you were right here. Okay,
we both make an OJ joke.
So I walked when we were talking at the party.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I heard you tell this story on your show about the parasailing accident you were in where you almost drowned, and your fiance at the time did not even flinch to begin to try to save you. And in that moment, you're like, I need to break up with this man.
And I did.
And you did.
I did. It was many years ago in Cozumel, Mexico, parasailing, and the parasail broke, and I had the life jacket on. Flew out to sea, splat.
Ugh.
They circled the speedboat back to come and get me. And he just looked over at me while these two people who had been speaking English, but then suddenly could only speak Spanish, jumped in to rescue me.
No hablo inglés.
They were like, we're not getting sued. They jumped in, though, at least saved me, pulled me, and I'm terrified. And I remember looking up at that man saying, as soon as we get back to Chicago, and I said it like that, Chicago. It's over.
Did you say it to him or this was in your head?
No, I said it in my face. I said it in my head.
Do you think he saw it?
He had to have.
Okay.
He had to have. Okay. Because it was pure, it's a mix of it's disappointment. Also, though, like, this is who you are. You know, it's like all of these things at once. I'm sure he saw, because I was going through it. I'm like, first, the disbelief.
Yeah.
Then you're like, wait, this is the guy that I might marry.
Yes.
And then it's like, this is who you are.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those moments where you learn a lot about a person in a moment of chaos or tragedy. Like they say, when you break up with someone, the way they behave during a breakup is like who they actually are.
But you had something.
I know.
Well,
okay, so when I heard your story, I know. First of all, wait, how long had you two been together, Tamron? Because this is engaged.
Oh my gosh.
This was your fiance.
We had to be a couple of years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Brave and bold, but it was clear to you. And you broke up as soon as you got back to Chicago.
As soon as I got off United Airlines flight, whatever that was. Yes, I did.
Because Chicago is the hub for United Air. Okay. That's how we know it was United. But I was in a relationship, And I had an incident in Lake Como where
Beautiful.
Yes.
Lake Como. George Clooney's Lake Como.
Yes, George Clooney's.
So it's like a dreamy vacation.
McDreamers. I mean, the company was not great. The company was the person
but
I was
it's
dating
Lake Como.
But it's Lake Como, right?
Right.
And
that's like bucket list vacation.
And it's stunning. I almost drowned, okay? But like 4 Norwegian guys saved me because they teach them apparently how to swim from age 5.
Birth. Yeah,
it's like part of the school system there, which we need to do that here,
we really should do that.
We should really.
A couple of other countries do it. It's on their physical education.
You should absolutely.
But you digress. Get to the good
I'm sorry.
stuff.
I'm getting distracted because I'm like, hold on. I want to run for president. We need to be teaching our youth how to swim. That's my platform. But anyway, I almost drowned. These 5 Norwegian guys came to save me, but the way that the person I was with at the time, just like, there was this weird tension as I was about to drown. Not because he was going to try to drown me. Let me be very clear. No. But it was like, oh, you're not really going to try to help me in the way that you could. Like immediately leap to action. A protector.
And that's not a gender assignment. That is, I am with someone or something that I love. Mm-hmm. That someone or something I love is in peril. Mm-hmm. And my instinct
is to like, I need to fix this. I need to protect this person, which is an interesting thing because that was something we would often have a conflict about. Is like, I want to feel like my partner, their instinct is to protect me. So I saw that clip randomly. Look at what God did. I saw that clip randomly after that vacation, like weeks, a couple months after, maybe months, because it was a summer vacation, July. I saw it and I felt convicted. Like, have you ever been to church and the pastor's preaching and they're talking to me?
They're talking to me. They read my diary.
How do they know? How do they know? Okay, well, I'm watching the clip and I was like, where did this come from? Why does Tamron know? Tamron's telling me I need to break up with this man. So I broke up with someone because of Tamron Hall, y'all. Let the record stay.
Look, and my son just looked up.
Yeah. Your mom did it.
I'm a heartbreaker, boo.
Your mom broke the heart, not me. Okay. And so I was like, I have to tell you this because it stuck with me. And I didn't do it right away. Yeah. I didn't do it when we got to Chicago. Yeah. Because I didn't go to Chicago.
Because you weren't sure.
I wasn't in Chicago and I wasn't sure. But I had there were like a number of things because how they say like, when it's the right person. I feel like how do you feel about that?
I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, I need to talk to you about this.
I think circumstances allow you to know if they're the right person. I don't know I've never had a gut feeling. I've like my husband and we met right when I was let go from my job. Okay. And it was the first time in my life since I was 14 years old that I'd been unemployed. Okay. I've worked my entire life. My first job was at Toys R Us. I worked in the stuffed animal section and worked my way up to cashier. So I've had a job my entire life because I needed that independence. And I begged my dad to let me have the independence of work. So much of my identity was aligned with the independence that work gives you. I can buy what I want, I can go where I want, blah, blah, blah. So
I begged to work when I was 14 too.
And my dad refused for a long time. And then finally he gave in. And back then they didn't have any computers because it was 100 years ago. And I forged my age and they were like, Toys R Us was like, come on in.
And they are defunct now, so we can't even do anything about it.
I can't even child labor laws, Toys R Us. But I was always looking for independence in it. So now I'm out of work for the very first time in my life. My self-esteem is managed. There's all these different things that go along when you've lost something that you think is a dream. And so I'd known Stephen for some time from afar. And then I ran into him this is a funny story. On a plane, there was my ex and his new tall Russian girlfriend sitting behind me.
Not the ex that was going to let you die.
One,
a different ex.
The different one.
Okay.
Another one. And he was this beautiful woman because you always picture you're going to see your ex and they're going to be like with one person with one tooth. She was
the
quite
true downgrade.
She was
and
quite
I love
the opposite.
how you're a girl's girl and can be like, no, she was bad.
She was bad. Oh, no, she was bad as hell. And so I'm like, holy moly, this gorgeous woman. And then and I didn't even want him, but now and I'm like, what I miss? And then I run into Stephen. And I used him as a decoy.
I was going to say, quick, pretend we're together.
I was like, I'm just talk to. Oh, great to see you. But as time went on, we'd run into each other, and then I had that situation happen with my prior job, and then I finally was able to see things. I feel, even though I hope in my heart I'm a great friend, I realized how much time I was focused on work and not my friendships.
Yeah.
And I call these things my love ships, and they fall under a lot of things, right? Just things I enjoy, right? Just taking a respite of walking around without responding to 200 calls from work and just walking New York. I remember when I first moved to New York, I could walk from Central Park all the way down to Battery Park, and my eyes were so wide open. Now I'm doing it. I'm looking at my phone because it's working. And those are important things. Don't get me wrong, because you got to put in the numbers to get the score that you need, and I get that. But now I didn't have the gig. I was able to like kind of focus on relationships. So I'm going back to the core. I don't know if for me anyway, it was a gut. It was watching him in these circumstances with me, right? Rooting me on as I'm writing the template for the Tamron Hall show. And I was watching, Merv Griffin and Dinah Shore. Everyone always thinks you go straight to Oprah. I'm like, no. I studied, oh my God, so much daytime TV, and even down to how close the seats would be together. I'm sketching. I'd go into these rooms and they're like, she got a whole sketch of what color the shirt. And so he was there. So it was the circumstances and him rooting for me and me feeling that. That's what because on paper, I wasn't planning on being with a 5'4" Jewish guy from the Bronx. It was not on my list. Wasn't and not that that's a bad thing. Right. I feel like I've won the lottery here. But it was the circumstances, because I think I've had relationships where I thought, oh my God, yes. And then you're on the side of the boat dying.
Oh yeah. And then you're
versus, putting in the work and watching someone root for you.
Yeah.
Watching, that feeling of, God, this person really wants me to win.
Yeah, and they're for you.
And they're
really, really
and
for you.
And as a result, they become for you.
Oh, and that's beautiful. And that's actually a word.
Yeah.
You could have been a lawyer. You're currently an award-winning talk show host, but I'm just going to say you could also be a preacher, because
let me go and get in here.
I'm just saying, that's beautiful.
Get some church going.
Okay, Tamron,
yes,
this has been incredible.
You're amazing.
You are. I just am like, I'm so honored to know you. My heart adores you.
I'm a fan. I hope the next time you are in trouble and you're about to drown in Lake Como, that the beautiful hand of because I'm going to be on the vacation with you.
Okay,
hey,
yes,
girl,
Tamron got me.
It's me and Moses.
Yes.
Hey. No, I can't tell you. Like, I am so blown away by your extreme talent, but also, and obviously Drop Dead Gorgeous, but you have this incredible energy that is illuminating. I truly think I meet a lot of people all the time, and I'm very fortunate in that way to have lived this very big life, but you stand out in this way. That's just, it's your, when people say breath of fresh air, you are a friggin' breath of fresh air. That's why in a monsoon, on this day that I have no child care, I brought my whole little 6-year-old and let him play 9 hours of Monopoly over there.
He's really going to beat you
Jonathan
guys.
Haidt, the guy who says no digital for kids, Jonathan Haidt somewhere is hovering over me, judging me as a mom. But you are. I think that you make entertainment so special, and I just love you. I could not love you more. I'm a fan.
Thank you. I'm like, I can't. Words are.
You are my Beyonce.
Oh my! What? That is you, Tamron.
Beyonce who?
Tamron, thank you so much.
Thank
I am
you.
so grateful for you. And honestly, if we had more time, I would tell all the people, and maybe I will in the outro when I record it. When you go, I'll tell all the people all the beautiful things you said to me that evening, and how inspiring and empowering and just authentic. And like right here on the ground, but also in the sky, which I think is a hard balance to strike. You are incredible. Thank you for doing this. May I ask if you will give a listener advice as well?
Of course.
Okay, we're going to get advice from, we're going to get a listener's request for advice.
Okay, good.
Hi, I'm in middle school. My social studies teacher keeps asking really stupid questions that are really poorly worded and marking all of the kids' answers wrong. How do I politely tell her this without getting in trouble? Thanks.
Ooh, Tamron, I'm letting you take that one.
So that's a funny thing, because we just had this conversation about being direct or clarifying. Like, is there a difference, right? I think, so I think, well, how old are you again?
Middle school. So I'm going to say between 12 and 14.
First of all, I think you have to be polite. And then you have to understand that this person controls your grades. So I believe in killing with kindness. I think you say, thank you so much, Mrs. Jones, for that feedback. But if you can help me understand it, I think I can get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to work it, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like Missy Elliott's song, work it and reverse it. So you got to flip it and reverse it.
Okay,
because if you go in hot like, this is stupid.
Yes.
What do you think? You're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
So you want to turn on the charm. I think you say, you know, I want to understand why you marked it up this way.
Yeah.
Because I want to make you proud of me.
Ooh.
Because you're my favorite.
Oh, finesse.
teacher in the class or in the school.
Ooh.
And I want you to be happy.
Oh my goodness. And I want to make you proud, and I want to get this right next time.
I want to get it right the next time. So like, let's erase that she is quote unquote doing a bad job and let's reverse it. Because in life, one of the things you're going to have to understand, I don't know if you like sports, but whether you are the quarterback of your team or on any team or at some point in work, you're going to lead people. And the easiest way to get people to do what you want is to make them feel appreciated. And so the skill I want you to learn now is one that will make sure you're a success the rest of your life. How do you get people to bend to your will? You do it through kindness and making them feel that they're important. And she is important because she controls your grades.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think you have to just say, thank you. I just want to understand because I want you to be proud and I want to give you what you want from me.
I think that is perfect. Yeah. I simply will not add to it. Another word from you, Miss Tamron
But I've
Hall.
now taught you to be manipulative. But that's okay.
But that's a different story for a different day. And Tamron is officially saying manipulation, a little bit of it.
But it's okay. Because your heart is good.
Yes.
Your heart is good.
Because we can't have you like disrespecting the teacher. Now you're at war with the teacher.
My mom was a teacher. You can't disrespect your teacher. But you can, though, connect with her and understand that in respecting her, she may not be as clear as she thinks she is. And I want to be able to give you what you want.
I think that's beautiful. That is sound advice, sage wisdom, if you ask me. Tamron, thank you so much for being here. I love you, love you, love you. That was an absolutely delightful conversation with Miss Tamron Hall. If I can say so myself, she is just so wise, so brilliant. And honestly, at that event where I met her, she was just as delightful as she was today on the podcast, spoke with so much insight and wisdom and clarity. And I just was like holding on to her every word. I'm so glad she was a guest today. I am immensely grateful for her and how Moses, you've seen the picture of Moses at this point, just an adorable, sweet, precious soul. So happy that Tamron was here. Bye. Thanks, Dad is a production of Will Ferrell's Big Money Players and iHeart Podcast. I'm your host, Nwodim. Our producer is Kevin Bartelt, and our executive producer is Matt Apodaca.